Hello, Internet. As someone who's made music for most of my life, I always have said that making music shouldn't be difficult because if you know what you want to make in your heart and you don't think about it too much and you just let yourself create, then that is what you should be making. It takes a long time to learn how to make music. You have to develop skills and insight into creating before you can really fully express yourself, because it sort of falls into that realm of like learn how the rules so you know how to break them, because you have to have a basis of understanding in order to insert yourself into it. To actually sit down and make a body of work or even one song that you fully stand behind and feels authentic to you and you feel really satisfied with, that's a very hard thing to do. You know, I've put out tons of music in the past and none of it I feel like I fully stand behind and it wasn't authentically myself. It's all me trying to figure out what I want to do with music. And a lot of artists will say the same thing, and that's part of the process, but it's just very frustrating when you feel like you haven't achieved that level yet. And I don't even mean success externally, like views and fans and money and all that stuff. I mean just internally, feeling like you did the thing that you set out to do. It's really difficult to achieve. Something that has switched in my mind recently is when I think of music, I used to just think of it as, do I like it? And if I'm sitting in my room, do I like this music when I listen to it? And a lot of times the answer is yes, because if you're excited about making something and you make it, you're probably going to feel pretty good about it when you first make it and you're listening to it. You're like, man, this is really good. And then you listen to it over and over and you kind of fall in love with the demo. Maybe you didn't finish the song. And then that's how you kind of fall off with making music. Slowly. This happens with a lot of musicians. They'll make something quickly, which is good. They like it a lot, which is good. But then they listen to it over and over and over again. And then they never want to change it because they fall in love with the form that it's in. So something that I've started doing is I'll make a folder of beats, or say you write songs, whatever type of music you make a folder and don't listen to any of the things that you make until you get to a certain number. And that can be different for everybody, like 10 songs. So let's say I want to make 20 beats. So what I'll do is I'll start 20 ideas, and then I won't go back to the first idea until I have 20 ideas. And what that does is it gives you a refreshing ear so that when you listen to your music, you can nitpick it more and you're not so just like enveloped in the sound, and you'll have a more objective approach to what you need to do to make the song what you want it to be. Another thing that's important too is you can't just listen to your music by yourself in your room and not show anybody. Even if you're not releasing it, you need to show it to people, because if you're in your room and you're making stuff by yourself, that's great again, but you're probably going to like it more when you're just by yourself in your room. In the past, I used to think, what music would this person in my life, like my friend, like what would they like if I played for them? Or like what would my parents like if I played for them? What would my partner like if I played music for them? That might be helpful at some point, but ultimately what you're going to start doing is making music for other people and not for yourself, which I don't think in the long run is a good idea. So what I've started doing is, how would I feel if I played this music for somebody? Even if they don't like the song, if you feel like you can confidently play it in front of somebody and not let their reaction affect how you feel about it at all, that is the goal. And that's going to take practice and courage. So now, even if I'm not actually every day making music and showing it to people, I really try to think about it from that perspective. Like, if I was playing this in a room of my closest friends, how would I feel? Would I feel like this is authentically me and I stand behind it? I really feel like I expressed myself fully and I don't care what their reaction is as long as I like it? Or maybe you're like following trends at the time, and when you show it to people in real life, you feel uncomfortable because you're like, well, this is not authentically me. This is just what I think, falls in line with this trend that I'm following on the internet. That has been something that's helped me a lot with making music. I kind of have gotten a little caught up because music is magic. It really is. Everything in the world is frequency. Like, I'm not going to get super into this, but everything in the world is frequencies. And when you're making music, you're basically arranging and controlling frequencies in a moment. That's magic. You know what I mean? Like, that's unexplainable. It's one of the most amazing things on earth. Creating it or even just listening to it, the fact that it exists, it's beautiful. So I think I've put a lot of pressure on myself to make sure that what I'm making is something that is worth being made. There's so much mediocrity on the internet now, and there's so many copycats on the internet and people just following trends. This has always been the case, but I feel like we're just exposed to it more now. The reason I think that that's dangerous is because people are afraid to make things that they want to make because they're afraid of rejection perfection and they're afraid of potentially losing money or not making money ever. And again, that's fine if you're approaching it like a business and you're not really thinking of it as art, then that's fine. If you want to do that, more power to you. But if you really want to make art and you really want to express yourself through your music, you can't be comparing yourself to other artists and other musicians. And you can't be like, well, this beat that I made sounds just like this famous producer's beat. It's just as good, if not better. Why am I not famous? It's like, because somebody already made that. You are the only you. So you have to make things that are authentic to you, so much so to the point that people can't get it anywhere else but you. If you're making music that's just as good as somebody else, it doesn't matter because somebody else already did it. And all of the consumers are already getting that from that person. So they don't need to get it from you. Just something to think about for all you musicians out there. If you're stuck or you just need a little inspiration, hopefully this helps. I'm hoping that it helps me. I'm in a place now where I just feel a lot of pressure that I'm putting on myself to create, and I need to get out of my head and I need to just create. So I'm hoping that this will push me closer to that, and I hope the same for you. I'll see you in the next video.